What is going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic, and this is where I channel the sacred guidance for this astrological week of the 29th of March until the 4th of April. Welcome, spring. It's kind of a relief, right? I mean, to have some sun exaltation energy. It's definitely a lot more moving. People are definitely a lot more awake, and there is more energy to take action, to get it going. Now, I have to say that it's not your regular equinox energy or, just fiery action taking energy. I mean, obviously Aries makes Mars important, and Mars is in Gemini, and that in of itself is, it's not the best. It's just showing that we are on a search for the right information, and that is quite acute, and we could do anything for that information. And to be honest with you, I don't really like this energy as much because Mercury, the host of Gemini, is in freaking Pisces, and that's the detriment. That is the ultimate confusion. It is like illusions, and it's telling how we take action. It's chasing a dream. It's chasing illusions. It is escapism, but it's also information that is coming from everywhere, and we're like, well, okay, let's go and do this. Let's go and do that. And so it's just like the shiny penny energy. Whatever that we can be, gratified by is like, okay, yes, this is finally it. Only to discover that it's really not. So, in a way, the energy continues of the, hold, wait until you receive an impulse to act. Because Mercury in Pisces is really about channeling, taking it easy, meditation, and then, okay, now I can go. But if you're like in the left brain and, think, you're really thinking something, you're dreaming something, and then you go. There's such a powerful go, go, go energy, but we're chasing illusions is what I would say. Now, this all changes once Mercury comes into Aries, and that's going to be super, super interesting to see what happens then. Because there we have mutual reception between Mars and Mercury, which means whatever we say, we do. Whatever we do, we say. And so our actions have power with our words, and we speak it out. Now, this also means Mercury in Aries is quite the go-getter. And just all that Arian energy is the go-getting energy. At the same time, this is not the only thing. At this very moment, Venus is conjunct the Sun. So there is a light shining on our values, which are quite, from a gut instinct, desire, action-oriented, I want this right now kind of an energy. And honestly, Venus is in fall. Is it in fall? Yeah, it's in fall. No, it's in detriment. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not a good energy. It's not a good energy for Venus to be in. So Venus in front of the Sun kind of blocks a little bit that energy too. So this is where other people, you just have the full moon in Libra, exactly opposing Venus, exactly opposing Chiron, exactly opposing the Sun. And it's just as if we have to face a wound of, being too selfish, or facing a wound of where we are not able to take action for ourselves. And where there's, Venus in front of the Sun is just like blocking that energy of like other people. You have to take care of other people. the only planet that is at home right now is Saturn in Aquarius. And Saturn in Aquarius, well, we have to talk about the themes of Aquarian here, because that energy currently is the strongest. I mean, the sun in Aries is quite powerful, but that's exactly why, you know, with Venus in front of it and the sun on Chiron, it's kind of, it's healing. It's healing. We have to face. We have to see where our freedom is being limited, where we are not allowing ourselves to take action. And Saturn in Aquarius is a couple of things. First and foremost, it's about freedom. Or, you know, because that energy can be expressed in not such a positive way. And we all know Saturn also rules Capricorn. Pluto's there. So there's a kind of a power struggle here that is going on. And Saturn in Aquarius then becomes limitation of freedom, lockdowns, as we've seen. But what I believe is that there's a bigger necessity that is happening where, honestly, we are just, because we're limited in our freedom, we are being asked to take action, especially now with the Sun in Arian energy. It's like, can you actually do something? Can you actually initiate? Because it's also about taking responsibility. It's about taking care of each other instead of the herd mentality. And we got to say it how it is. You know, people are not asking questions about all these regulations. Maybe they do, but Mercury's in Pisces, so they're not being heard. But once Mercury comes in Aries, boy oh boy, that's going to be a different energy. Trust me. You will see. I'm not sure, you know, if that's actually a good thing, because I definitely see a lot more acute tension, fiery, aggressive energy. The aggression is building, the tension is building, and because of it also the rules and the regulations. I mean, I just saw Russell Brand on his YouTube channel showing, which, by the way, for me, Russell Brand is really a good way to consume media energy, because he really does its best to be as neutral as possible. And I mean, he does give his opinion, right? But I know that he takes the shit serious, and he analyzes, and he goes and look for other resources as well. He confirms this from the different resources. Anyway, I think that's important, because we can get lost in where Mars and Gemini then is really about, oh, this is true, fuck you. You know, it's just like, you gotta freaking check your truth, your facts. And when you do with Mars and Gemini, when you do have your facts, you can really make a difference. You can really act. But anyway, I was talking about Saturnian energy being the strongest right now, and it is progression, it is advancement, but it's not how the people would want it. It's Venus in front of the sun. It's moon in Libra, full moon in Libra energy, with Venus in front of the sun and with the sun on Chiron. And so we have to face where we are like being blocked by other people in our freedom. But honestly, this is, I feel and see that this is to make sure that we really do take care of each other, but we gotta have a common ground, and we just don't have it. It's really hard to look for a common ground between 8 billion people. I mean, I don't think anyone has the answer right now, but it definitely is not what is happening right now. We know that, but that's the birth canal we're in, And that's why everything is happening what is happening. So, the moon goes further and continues its journey in Scorpio once it goes out of Libra, and it opposes Uranus, which brings a little bit of shock, brings a little bit of, anxiety on Wednesday and Thursday. So know that can happen. It continues its journey, goes into Sagittarius. And so once the moon comes into Sagittarius, the sun and Venus is already past the sun then. And I feel right now, from Tuesday, Wednesday onwards, we have a power to propel forward. But again, Mercury is still going to be in Pisces, so we have to tune in still. And Mercury is going to be conjunct Neptune. So that's the ultimate, what the fuck's going on? So you have to meditate. You have to do your yoga or whatever it is that, brings you in alignment with something beyond this dimension. And then I think we can navigate still according to your preference. So then the moon comes into Capricorn, and then Mercury comes into Aries. And that's why I'm like, Mercury in Aries is fire, action, go. But moon in Capricorn is, I need structure, I need authority, I need to follow the rules. So that's why this Mercury in Aries is still limited. There's friction. So, I don't know. The lesson here is really, it's the same message always, right? The message is in this case, I think the energy of Saturn in Aquarius, where it's about holding space. Saturn in Aquarius is really about holding space for the people. And that, I feel that's our job right now. Because if you are watching this, it's very likely you are already on a path where you're in awe of life. You're in awe of the little beautiful things. And you can appreciate a lot more, and you are not being swept up by or swept away by what the media is telling you or what the rules are. I mean, of course, it triggers your rebellion energy, as everyone. And you definitely feel the anger, the frustration. But at least you're saying I still have whatever, my friends, I still have good food, I can still take care of myself. And, you're taking responsibility. And those people who do that, honestly, you have the power to hold space. And to hold space is really to allow people to go through their transformation. And when we do that to each other, I think really holding space gives a container for people to just be. And you don't have to press your needs on others, but you can actually look ahead and say, whilst this person is doing that, I can do that. So you can still do as you like and as you prefer, but I think more and more we are learning to take care of each other, to hold space. And that's why we're here. Whilst we still can enjoy the beautiful things. I mean, it's really about what you prefer to do and what you want, and you can create your own circumstances. And I know, I'm using this as an example, but Charlotte and I, we decided to move to Spain in a moment where it was really not convenient. We were not allowed to travel, but you could find a way. And we know now there's a lockdown in Belgium and people are stuck, but you shouldn't be. You can still find a way. These are just blah, blah, blah rules that you can navigate through. You can see behind the veil. I told you to look beyond the veil. It's just all freaking illusions. It doesn't matter what the rules are, right? I mean, to a certain extent, because it's starting to get really restrictive. But then still, look past it. Think about the solution instead of fighting the problem. That's it. And then you can create your own circumstance. And that's, we're here in Spain. We're enjoying ourselves. We're having the best times of our lives. And here in Spain, everything is open. People can still go to cafeteria. And you can say like, well, but it's all good for you. But I got this and that. But honestly, you can do whatever you want. And it's just about creating your own life and your own circumstances. I really want you to think about this. And with this Mercury in Pisces on Neptune, you can listen to what source is guiding you to do. And then from therefore, you can propel and continue your actions. But you can't do it because you think this is what you want. You have to listen, right? And this is an opportunity this whole week to listen. What do I want? Or what does source want me to do? And what do I really want? And when I say I mean really like your soul, your heart. You have to listen. And when you do that, how do you do that? How do you listen to your heart? Heart brain coherence, look it up. I've told you a couple of times, heart brain coherence technique. You listen, you tune in your brain and your heart, and then you will get the information that you need. It comes in ways that is very unexpected, but you can. And then gradually you build steps. You pave your own path. You do your own thing. And you're not a victim of your circumstances. And then you have energy and time to hold space for others because, life is abundance. Life is abundant. And you can get whatever you want. And wherever life is challenging you, is where you have to listen more. Or where you have to install a hiatus. And just where there's a winter for you. And we're in a worldwide winter. And it's going to be hard to listen to this, but it's definitely going to last a little bit longer than 3 years. I've heard resources, Ben Stewart, for instance, which, he's a well-respected in that sense, talking about 2028. Because after even like Saturn leaves Aquarius, I think it's in 2026. So there's 3 years of like hiatus, but Uranus comes into Gemini. And Uranus in Gemini, that 84 years ago was war. So that's definitely coming. And I think the next 10 years, we're in this together. And we're on the path to really learn to hold space for each other, to not press our preferences from a mind and I want this right now, but more of a like, well, what is happening? What do I, my heart, really want? And it's always for the best of the people. It's always love. If we just keep, I've said enough. I think you know. But just know that still a week of really listening, still a week of confusion, illusion, and if you're like, what the fuck's going on, you know why. Because that search is active, but it's a search for nothing. So you better listen. And that's really the only energy that is, there's just a lot of nervousness, anxiety, and anger that is unexpressed, that is not heard, and that is going to come out once Mercury hits Aries. So stay tuned for next Sunday. Much love, the Leo Mystic. Peace.